What's up, Gov Seekers?
Hello, hello.
What is up, my friend?
October 5th, diving right in, 1986.
Do it.
Eugene Hassenfuss
Not a real
captured
name.
during the Iran-Contra scandal. Also, one of the best names for a secret U.S. operation capturee. Eugene Hassenfuss. Yeah, I'll put a photo of Hassenfuss on the screen so you can.
Yes, we got to see Hassenfuss up close.
He does not seem thrilled to have been captured by the Nicaraguan troops, the Sandinista soldiers. You know what he's got on his face right there is a Hassenfuss. Is what he has
God.
there.
That's what happens if you walk in the jungle too long without clean socks.
Oh my God, absolutely! You will get yourself a tough case of Hassenfuss. So, October 5th, 1986, the cover-up of the Iran-Contra scandal began to unravel when Eugene Hassenfuss was captured by the Nicaraguan troops after the plane in which he was flying was shot down. Hassenfuss had been shipping military supplies into Nicaragua for use by the Contras, an anti-Sandinista force. We've talked about Iran-Contra a little bit here and there on the show. That was created and supported by the U.S. in violation of congressional action stopping the funding and run by the CIA. Documents found on the men killed in the plane crash gave evidence to the fact the U.S. government was using proceeds from the illegal sale of weapons to Iran to support the rebel groups in Nicaragua. And historian Greg Grandin has an interesting analysis. He says Iran-Contra should be viewed not as a crime or conspiracy, but as a consequential historical moment that both helped unite the various political constituencies that made up the Reaganite New Right, including first-generation neoconservatives, theocons, law and order anti-communists, economic free traders, disgruntled Vietnam vets, and covert operators. Iran-Contra was in sum a vast logistical and ideological workaround, a way to both bypass specific restrictions in the wake of Vietnam and Watergate that Congress put on the executive branch to wage war and conduct covert activities. And I'd say not just Watergate, but the Church Committee as well. And to neutralize a more diffuse anti-war and anti-intervention sentiment that had overcome the American public. Support for the Contras allowed the diverse secular and religious strains of the new right to once again assert the moral righteousness of militarism and markets. It shouldn't then be thought of as a conspiracy, but as the conspiracy. A conspiracy of conspiracies, a crime of state that makes all the other crimes of state possible.
Right on.
High five. Yeah, I know we've talked about it here and there. Maybe we need to do a segment on Iran-Contra. Maybe I feel like we haven't, but
yeah.
If we have, you can go watch it right now in episode beep. Just inserted the episode.
I think so. Here's something that's near and dear to my heart in the city of Chicago, where I'm from. This day on 1871, the Great Chicago Fire begins. This was one of the more of the 4 stars in the Chicago flag. This is one of them. October 8th, 1871, flames spark in the Chicago barn of Patrick and Catherine O'Leary, igniting a 2-day blaze that kills between 200 and 300 people, destroys 17,450 buildings, leaves 100,000 people homeless, and causes an estimated $200 million. That's 1871 dollars. Today, that would be roughly $4 billion. Legend has it that a cow kicked over a lantern in the O'Leary barn and started the fire, but other theories hold that humans or even a comet may have been responsible for the event. Yeah.
Yeah, whenever someone says it was a comet, it means some guy put out his cigarette on a hay bale.
Yeah. I think that to me is like alien attack. It left 4 square miles of the Windy City, including its business district, in ruins, dry weather, and an abundance of wooden buildings. Streets and sidewalks made Chicago vulnerable to fire. The city averaged 2 fires per day in 1870.
2 fires
There were-
per day.
Yep.
Holy shit. Well, the other reason is because wait, what year was this?
1871.
Yeah. Back then it was all lanterns. So just fucking everybody kicking over their lanterns.
Yeah. There were 20 fires throughout the city of Chicago the week before the Great Fire. Despite the fire's devastation, much of Chicago's physical infrastructure, including its water, sewage, and transportation systems, remained intact. Reconstruction efforts began quickly and spurred great economic development and population growth as architects laid the foundation for a modern city featuring the world's first skyscrapers. At the time of the fire, Chicago population was about 324,000. Within 9 years, there were 500,000 Chicagoans. By 1893, the city was a major economic and transportation hub with an estimated population of 1.5 million. That same year, Chicago was...
So you're saying the fire was a good thing? Allowed for all these people to move in and create an awesome city.
Yeah, which is why, it might have been alien architects that shot comets at the city.
I never thought of that. The Great Chicago Fire perpetrated by alien architects.
Alien architects, Lee. Think about it.
Man, we may be opening a whole new fan base right now in this conversation.
It's why if you go to the city of Chicago, everything is either brick or mortar. And there's one, God, I forget what it's called. The Green Door, the Green Tavern. It's one of the only remaining wooden structures. It's this old bar, like wooden bar that survived the fire of 1871. And it's one of the only wooden structures left in the city of Chicago because everything had to be brick and cement after the fire.
Do you think they've painted that in some anti-inflammatory paint? Do you think that's got a few extra coats on there?
A little flame retardant paint? I think that's on there, Lee. I think that's on there.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm glad we're past those times. I have a friend who's a firefighter, and I was just saying yesterday, like, and he has to do the thing where they like stay up for 2 days straight, and then he comes home and sleeps for like an hour, and then like in the middle of the day, and then like all this crazy shit. And I'm like, I don't know that we still got to do that. I feel like that had to do with where, firemen lived across town, had to take a horse. Like you couldn't alert firefighters to the fact that there was a fire. So they all had to hang out together so the bells could go off. It's like, I think we could just like call them on the phone and say, go to the fucking fire.
Just call them on the phone.
I think,
hey,
I don't know that they all got to live in bunks inside a fucking weird building. I don't know. Something seems antiquated.
Hey, dude, what are you up to right now? Hey, you want to go to a fire?
Yeah, look, if they still need the big metal pole, we can put it in their house. Okay, each of them can have their own metal pole.
I mean, maybe the stripping that they do on the pole at the firehouse is
they
like
can
a
still
strip.
Put out the sexy firefighter costume magazine, what calendar. They can still do it. I just don't know that we need the buildings they all live together and do the hang out in. And
now this is really forward thinking, Lee. This is really great.
Look, I am pro firefighter. I think I'm changing their lives right now.
Yeah, they should all just be at house, just hanging out. Not cleaning or training.
It's what we do with. It's what we do with the cops and SWAT teams and emergent. Like EMTs don't all live together in a hut, jacking each other off. They don't have to do that. They're dealing with emergencies. They're dealing with emergencies. Surgeons, they get calls. Used to have beepers. Now they got cell phones. Come on, modernize.
They're not all living in some surgeon's yurt, and they just then get the phone rings and they have to
stop. Surgeon yurt, exactly. All right, I gotta go, but I think I'm onto something. I think I've solved this firefighter problem.
This is cutting edge, buddy. I'm glad you brought this
I'm emailing firefighters right now.
They're gonna love this. All right, buddy. Good to see you.
Thanks a lot, man. See you later.
Thanks, everybody.